All right, now here we go. Now we are at the Ron Coleman Crystal Mine in Jesseville, Arkansas. We came up here during Family Fun Day, which just happened to happen around our 23rd wedding anniversary. And we decided to get one of these baskets as an anniversary gift to ourselves. Now the baskets cost about $165. You can't pick through them until you get them, so let's see what we get. That way everybody else kind of knows if it's worth it or not. Now, they couldn't get ours out of the basket. They normally put it in 2 bags. So they went ahead and gave us the basket, but we're going to clean it up and take it back to them. Now, this has a thick peanut butter clay. That's the pocket clay, and it's kind of nice having that around your crystals whenever you're taking it home because it kind of protects the points and gives you a little bit of fun whenever you get to the house. That way you can get it all out of there and clean it up. Now, I know crystals do carry monetary value. I'm no fool on that. But my wife and I do it because we like to have them around. It's fun to dig them. And it's just one of our healthy little hobbies. Now, this is the crystals after we got them out of the basket and got them washed off. I did soak them in iron out for a couple of days to help get part of the mineral deposits off of them. And as you can tell, in that basket, there was quite a few crystals. Now, there was a few large ones, but most of them were mid-size. Now, these here are some little dainty ones that we got. I have never found any formations like this out on the Ron Coleman mine itself. And they was just very cool. Now, this plate right here has a bunch of little crystals on it. And the sides of the plate are just absolutely covered with druzy, which are little miniature crystals that are starting to grow all over it. Very beautiful piece. I've got several plates and I like every single one of them. Every one of them is just absolutely unique. Now, I've got good lighting, but sometimes for this, it's just not optimal. Now, this little piece right here is covered with hundreds of little points, crystal clear all over it. Some of the formations that we got are just fantastic. You can see a bunch of little crystals growing in every direction on them. Even the milky quartz crystals are breathtaking. They just have little crystals growing all over the place on them. Now, some of the reddish color in there, that is actually behind the crystals or in the crystals. So it's very, very difficult to get that out of there. I don't know if I'll be able to or not. Now, we did get a few plates in there. Most of them are about the size of your hand. Some of them are about the size of your finger, like this one right here. And that is just really, really cool. This has shelving and all kinds of crystals on it. Now, whenever I was getting these out of the basket, I had to be very, very careful because there was lots of sharp points. I would recommend a pair of Kevlar gloves. You can get them on Amazon fairly cheap. I ended up getting 3 or 4 good little cuts whenever I was digging, but I ended up with some fantastic pieces. Now, a lot of these crystals are going to have rainbows in them. I found several record keepers. I got plenty of time links out of these. This piece right here is just clear as ice. As far as clarity goes, this one is just about as good as it gets. Very beautiful piece. I'll have to find a new way to display that one. Now, as I've said many times before, no 2 crystals are exactly the same. They're going to have different faces on them. They're going to have different properties. Now, some of these did have sand inclusions in them, which I thought was pretty cool. And whenever whenever you get them out into natural light, you will find the record keepers. And now, anytime I go to the Ron Coleman mine, I'm never disappointed. And this is the first time we bought one of the baskets, and my wife and I are both really pleased with it. I don't know exactly what crystals are worth, but I know I got some really nice pieces in here. We got lots of doubles and triples. I did not find any phantoms, but I got some fantastic clear points and some beautiful formations. Now, I did clean up all the milky quartz and shards and everything. They're all on this towel. That way you can see everything that was in the basket. We got some tabbies in here. We got some of them that are referred to as haystacks. Now this one right here, this is a really, really cool piece. This one actually has 3 big crystals, and then it's got a bunch of little ones down at the base that are growing. Now, a lot of these are self-standing, which means I don't have to do anything special. They will just sit on a shelf just perfectly. Look at that clarity. That is beautiful. Now, we did wind up with some golden healers in some of these. This one's not, but we did get some beautiful pieces. It's a nice little triplet right there. Now, we are working on an outside rock garden, which I doubt any of these are going to go there. These are 2 nice pieces right here. Now, this one's got some sand inclusion in it, which means whenever the crystal was forming, there was actually sand in the material, and it is inside the crystal. Now, on the rough side of this one right here, you can actually see a bunch of little crystals growing on it. There's just so much going on here. So much history. It's beautiful. Just fascinating how these things just grow in the ground like this. Here's another beautiful clear point. You can just see all the way through. You can see my fingers on the other side. At first I thought this one broke off of another formation, but it actually has 2 different points on it. One of them's a chisel tip, and the other end has an Isis window. So this one was actually a free floating crystal. It wasn't part of another cluster that broke off. This is just the way it formed. Now, we did not get a lot of the double terminated. We did get a few. We got a lot of these nice little clusters like this one right here. Just 2 and 3 points, and it's got a bunch of little crystals growing on the bottom. Always find that fascinating. Now, one thing I did notice with the basket, as opposed to digging at the mine, a lot of the tips and points aren't broken. They're really, really pristine. I did find a couple of them that had a little damage on them, but in comparison, the basket, you're going to get the higher quality stuff. Now, for my chemical cleaning on these, I just use some iron out. You can get that at Walmart. It's pretty inexpensive. And you put that in your water with your crystals, and you let it soak for a day or 2. Rinse them off. Sometimes you're going to have to run a second cycle on it to get the really, really stubborn stains. But most of these, just 1 treatment, and they was good to go. Now, this one right here is one of my favorites. It has a lot going on. It's got a lot of little crystals coming up the side, and then it has that one big, beautiful, clear point. Now, we had a couple of broken columns in here, which I thought those were pretty cool too. We cleaned them up. We got a lot of different ways of displaying our crystals. This is a neat little cluster. It's got 1 crystal going lengthwise, and then it's got a bunch of them going up and across the top. another little fascinating piece. It'd be great for a mantle or a dresser. And we did get a couple of larger points. They wasn't complete, but they did have some beautiful facings on them and some beautiful markings. That's where it was attached to the matrix where the crystals were growing. Now, whenever you get the basket, you don't know what you're going to get. As a matter of fact, the mine doesn't even know what you get. They just get the material and they fill a basket and sell it. Now, they're not going to guarantee what you get in the basket, but personally, I guarantee you're going to get some nice stuff. Another beautiful little piece right here. Now, this right here was a piece of a column. It had several crystals growing on it. That's part of the matrix on the back. I couldn't imagine what this would have been if those points wouldn't have been broken. That would have been just a beautiful piece. It is anyways, but now we ended up with a lot of these clear points like this. Now, the Arkansas quartz is known for its clarity. The Ron Coleman mine is really known for having some of the clearest crystals out there. And they are just absolutely beautiful. Now you get these in the right light, you can see rainbows and all kinds of different stuff. This is another one of those beautiful little formations. It's got crystals on both sides. I think it's actually considered a tabby because it's a thin tablet-like crystal. Now these smaller ones like this, I have never found these on the mine. They're probably damaged at that point, but these right here are pristine. It just has hundreds and hundreds of little crystals all over this face. It's just beautiful. Now there is some sand inclusion in some of it, but it looks like plate was there and just crystals fell on it and just stuck. This is one of those beautiful little golden healers that we found. Probably the smallest crystal we found in that basket. Beautiful formation. This one right here kind of reminds me of feathers. It just has layers and layers of crystals, and they have little crystals growing all over it. I've never seen anything like this one in a shop anywhere. And the points are crystal clear. Now these are just so beautiful and so delicate, I'm afraid to almost handle them. But I did take a toothbrush and cleaned up the crystals and washed them off really, really good. I'm going to set them on display in my house. That's a neat little one right there. Now, anybody that's wanting to go dig their own crystals, there's a lot of places around the Mount Ida area and the Jesseville area, which is where the Ron Coleman mine is. It's $25 a person to enter. And I have always found good stuff there. And the basket is definitely worth it. Now you may have to call ahead and see if they're going to have any baskets available because they go pretty quick. That's a beautiful little piece there. When somebody thinks of crystals, they think of these pretty little pristine points that all look alike, and that is just simply not true. We found a lot of unique pieces, a lot of beautiful pieces in this. Definitely going to get another basket. It was money well spent. We had a lot of fun going through it, and we always have a lot of fun digging at the mine too. You can follow them on Facebook. They have YouTube videos for the Ron Coleman mine. The people up there are really, really nice. That's a beautiful little piece right there. It's got a lot going on. This one right here is one of them that I was afraid I was going to break. It just has so many little points on it. My big clodding fingers don't do it any justice. But these These are beautiful. I appreciate y'all watching my videos. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll have more stuff incoming. I do stuff other than just crystals. I do farming. I do herbal medicine. I'm into a little bit of everything. I thank y'all for your time. And I hope y'all have a fantastic day. I hope this video was pretty good information for you. If you have any questions, drop a comment. I will answer them. Have a fantastic day.